Materials, we got some oil pastel colors, some modeling clay, and some different colored paints. We have an Art K student page and 2 readabouts that happen at the end of each one of our units.
The online lesson activities, it basically just gives you an overview of what you'll be doing. There's not a lot of online components because obviously you can't paint on your smart board. So it'll do the readabout, which is an offline. So it'll have you read about a certain fine print, and then it'll give you questions to kind of prompt the children to, gain a better understanding of what the picture is about and the illustrator and all of that. And then the hands-on activities, obviously, that go with the clay and the paintbrushes and all of that. And then the Art Pages book is like a workbook. It had like rectangles and different activities for them to do on an individual basis.
So that book James is holding up, all those pages are also online too, so you can pull up those pages in the art lessons to project to the class. And can you hold up that box for a second with all the, so all those supplies, the pastels, the clay, the paintbrushes, the paint, you get one of those per child. So, just keep that in mind. Did you guys have other stuff you wanted to add?
We forgot to show these pictures. There's art sample pictures. You get a bunch of these too.
Yeah, that's called the art print kit. And you get one of those for every 5 children. That's the ratio those come in at. The student pages, you get 1 per child. And then those 2 books, you just get 1 per class. They're like read-aloud books. They're pretty cool, actually. They give you specific discussion questions around a piece of artwork. So it's pretty neat.
We have 3 assessment questions at the end of each lesson. They're offline, right?
Online.
Online. And there's no cumulative unit assessment at the end of each unit.
Right. So for art, it's at the lesson level. And we're going to talk more about assessments after lunch, but I just wanted you to know lesson level, no unit. They're accessed only through online. But a lot of the assessment, one of the assessment questions will specifically ask about the project, whatever project the student was doing. Did the student create a still life with 2 different kinds of lines, for example? Basically an observation, yes or no kind of thing. So a lot of it's based on the project.
So for science, it is about, for lesson length, it varies 45 to 60 minutes per lesson, 3 times a week, which you're saying that some people make time for it every day. It just depends. It's mostly offline since it's science. There are a few virtual activities depending on what state you're in.
And then the physical materials that obviously there are these huge boxes. It's broken down into units, and then they're themed.
So it's called the 3 modules.
That's the first module right there, senses and trees, what they have up.
And
So then it comes with the black line masters.
which you'll see, but I'll pull this up. This is a little different from terminology-wise, a little different than what we might be used to. So over here it says lesson 1, our senses. So what you would do is write the children's names here. Instead of lesson, what they really mean is unit, which this is the unit.
That's actually in the module.
I'm sorry, this is the module, the unit within this. And then here what you'll find it says part, that's the actual lesson.
So
Okay?
each part should take probably a day.
A day apiece.
And then these are kind of the assessments for each of them. So on the part, it will say what the student needs to achieve. And then you're going to write down the child's name and then the date that they mastered that on. So for example, correctly identifies how to use each tool for cooking. So that would be the first goal for that lesson.
Does that make sense?
And there, it also comes up, I just noticed all of these handouts, so this must go along with the assessment.
These can be found online as
So,
well,
yeah,
right?
that pack that you're holding,
Yeah.
it comes like in a shrink wrapped package, and it's both those assessment checklists and also any activity pages that go along with the lesson. So they're not all assessments, but so you have assessment checklists and any activity sheets.
So.
Oh, tell them.
Alright, well that covered mostly the assessments, the checklist is your assessment. And then for our other notes, I don't know if any of you have noticed that you got an announcement on your OLS page to order the science materials. So,
And you ordered yours.
yes, I did order
But
mine, but I
it's-
set my delivery date for September, since that's when we're starting.
I'll pull it up for you guys too.
So basically, the way that she explained it to me is, so for this,
For each module,
you're gonna
there's
need
stuff.
some items that are consumable items. So if I were to order it for the whole year right now, it would be a waste. So what there's an option to do is go on and set the date for delivery. So that's something that you probably want to do relatively soon. And then those items will be shipped out to you accordingly, which is really nice. That's such a huge piece to the puzzle. And so for example, the first module that we're going to be using is like leaves and bark, and a lot of those things need to be refrigerated until we use them. So it'll be nice for, they come in, you put them in the refrigerator, and then they're there for you to use. And
it
then
tells
next
you
round
right
ships
on-
out.
Yeah, it told you right on there what day you'll be needing it. So for some of them, it said you need it day 4, so you're gonna need that to come in relatively soon.
So I'll pull up what they're talking about, and I'm glad you noticed it. I know there are actually 2 new centers that ordered, and I was like, wow, they were, yeah, and you're one of them.
Smart.
So when you log in, this is your homepage, everyone's gonna have one announcement. It says voucher submission, read more. And this is for, I'll need to calibrate. Okay. Read the directions really carefully, but I'm gonna explain it to you too. I know you can't read it all right now. But basically you need to submit a voucher for this module, Census and Trees, so you can get your leaves and your plant materials. Because what we found happened in the past is when they were housed in our warehouse for indeterminate lengths of time, the leaves would get moldy and it was pretty gross. So we just now drop ship them to you when you need them. So that's for Census and Trees. And then you won't need to do this again until the end of the year in the spring when you're doing swimmers and crawlers, and you'll be getting fish and snails for your aquarium. And you'll be getting beetles and pill bugs for your terrarium. So obviously we don't ship those in ahead of time because they're alive.
We don't use the fish tanks until then?
Until the end.
Could
Yeah.
we?
Yeah, if you wanted to, if you wanted to set them up now.
Watch the old ones before the new ones.
Sure. So. Now it's not even doing it.
Yeah,
So ironic. So you are a new center. So you don't have to worry about ordering anything in advance because everything's already been ordered for you. Next year you'll have to worry about that. We'll explain it then. Okay, so I just click the link that said click here, and then you'll get this PDF. It says Census and Trees are typically ordered in the fall, which is now. So you want to make sure that you have this kit, Census and Trees. It says right here, order for the beginning of the school year. You don't actually need the plants until lesson 4, part 1, but you know, just so you get them in enough time. The things down here, the aquarium and terrarium animals, that's order in the spring. So you don't need to order those yet. Okay.
And just to clarify, when we talk about the word order, these vouchers, these materials have already been purchased for you. So part of the larger sort of all of the materials that you should be receiving in your centers today and will be waiting for you when you return to your centers, the materials themselves have already been paid for, they've already been purchased as part of that big material bulk.
Oh, you do have yours. Okay, I'll pull one up online, but I wasn't sure if anyone was able to see it. So these are on KL Central, which I believe, you just need your center director to, yeah, that's it, to walk you through. But let me pull one up now. I'll pull up a pencil. And this is an alignment, which I don't even want. I want the pacing guide. And I don't want California, they're not here today. Okay. All right. Every state has its own pacing guide. The reason for this is because every state, for the most part, science standards are different, and we want to ensure that every standard is being covered. There's a couple states going forward that have adapted the next-gen science standards. I don't think that's any of the states here. Is there any Delaware? There's no Delaware here, or Maryland. I don't think that's any of the states here. But it would say on top if it was next-gen. Either way, this is just telling you what you need to teach to ensure all standards are covered. Everyone's doing senses and trees, then fantastic forces, then swimmers and crawlers. This is showing you which of your state standards are being met by that lesson. Sometimes you might see something marked as optional. We always if it's marked as optional, we recommend you do it, but you might not have time to do it. And let me find a virtual. So these are all. Okay. Right. So module name or virtual lessons so far, we're all in module senses and trees. Okay, virtual lesson. There's virtual lessons sprinkled throughout your pacing guide because in some cases there's standards like solar system or weather. Special weather's a big one. That is not in any of these modules, but we want to make sure that you have lessons available so you can teach that standard. So when you see virtual lesson, it tells you the grade, K, kindergarten. The unit is 10 and the lesson is 1. Okay, it's kind of hard to see what you're doing when it's completely zoomed like that. There it goes. So on your list, you'll see Science K. Some of you might see Science 1, depending on if there was a lesson from first grade science that you needed to meet a standard. Most of you are Science K. Science K. And another reason I'm pointing this out is because there were some teachers who thought that in addition to these modules, they had to teach every single lesson that's here. And this is 72 lessons, so you totally don't have to teach every lesson that's here. Just the ones that are on the pacing guide. So we just saw K.10.1, 10 seasons, unit 10, lesson 1. That's the lesson it's referring to. So it's directing you to this lesson to teach to students so that that standard about the seasons is being met. Okay, not everyone has to do this. This is just Pennsylvania that I pulled up. It depends on your state which lessons you have to do. Some lessons have maybe like 5 virtual lessons on their pacing guide, and some have like 30, depending on how involved the state's kindergarten standards are.
Where do we get the pacing guide?
That's on KL Central. Let me just make this smaller so I can get to the. I pulled up Pennsylvania because they have a lot. Okay. Also, as I mentioned, some states have very involved science standards, and there might be standards that are not covered in K12. If that's the case, the standard will be at the bottom, and there'll be a none here because there's no coverage. So either, yeah, so, or you can do a separate lesson, or you can try to integrate it into a lesson that you're already doing. A lot of this for Pennsylvania anyway, there's specific design and technology standards that aren't in the kits. So for other states, there's grade bands. So you might see up here, not Pennsylvania, but a different state, let's say like Nevada, K-2 science standards. if you have a great band, if your state has great bands, you don't have to teach every standard, but they're all going to be listed here, you know, just in case. Right, because you don't have to teach them everything they need to know in kindergarten. They can get some more in first and second grade. At the very bottom, okay, is the breakdown of how many lessons you have to teach. So 69 module lessons, not including optional, those ones marked in green. 37 virtual lessons, optional 14. So the amount of lessons you would have to teach according to the guide would be 69 plus 37. Okay? So typically, if you teach science at least 3 times a week, that'll be enough. I know some people teach it every day on their schedule, but other states you're going to have a lot less virtual lessons. Like I said, state like 5 or 6.
I'm a little confused about where we find our state's science standards.
Oh, this is already aligned to it. You don't have to pull up your state science standards. They're already on
It's
here.
on the pacing guide.
Yeah,
it's
they're
on
already
K12
listed
Central.
here. Yeah, you just have to pull up this document, and then we'll look at, there's an actual alignments document at the end, we'll look at that too, but you don't have to search and find your state standards, they're already here.
Right.
Yeah.
So wherever that's how it's supposed to match it up. And I think, later this afternoon, we'll pull up K12 Central for you guys. Oh,
Okay, perfect, yeah, that'll be good. All right, so this is an important document, so we want to make sure that you will find it. This is just telling you what to teach. Like I said, everyone's doing those 3 modules, but which virtual lessons you're doing, you can refer to the pacing guide.
And so those virtual modules will be nowhere found in our book.
Yeah,
correct?
no, yeah, you don't
So
have.
if you don't follow the pacing guide, you're gonna skip right over those virtual modules and you'll never know about it.
Right.
Okay, so you have to refer to the
You
pacing
do.
guide.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And you don't get materials for the virtual lessons either, just for the science.
30 minutes offline, 20 minutes online. The one discrepancy for that is that's Monday through Thursday, and then on Friday it flip-flops. And so online you do 20 minutes to kind of do a unit checkpoint for 30 minutes on Friday. You want to talk about the activities?
Did you get that? Okay.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, could you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry, Monday through Thursday plus the Friday.
No, that's fine. The lessons are 50 minutes apiece every day. 30 minutes is online and 20 minutes is offline. That's through Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, it switches, so that way you actually have 30 minutes to do the unit checkpoint. And then 20 minutes is just online activities.
Every 5th day is a unit assessment. So that day's 30 offline and 20 on for review.
Usually for phonics, you're going to start offline with a workbook page or something like that to give a review and to review the sounds that you're working on that day. And sometimes there'll be an online little introduction to a sound where you can click on the animal and or object, whatever it is, like monkey, to teach that sound. But it's really short, and then you do the offline activities with them. And then sometimes you can go back online and they'll have review activities, like they'll have like a little game where they'll show you a picture and they can click on, if your sound is M, click on everything that begins with the letter N or ends with the letter M. And you're usually working on 2 sounds
Yeah.
per lesson.
Yeah, it also had the online reader that went along with it, and I'm really excited about this one because it's a lot better than the ones we've had on the computers in the years past. But the kids can actually listen to the words being read.
You can shut off the pictures if you want kids to actually read through the words instead of just guessing like mine like to. You can have it shut off reading the sentence so the kids actually have to read it aloud to you,
Or you can read it together with them. There's a lot of different options with this one that I like. As far as offline materials, there's a ton.
There's a ton of
which is why it took us a
offline,
couple
yes.
minutes. Yeah.
You get a tile kit that has different letters, not just letters, sounds, because you have your digraphs and your trigraphs. It has punctuation as well. And they get little magnetic boards. This is the teacher one, so it kind of stands up.
Oh,
And then you can work with the different sounds, that they hear with the tiles and the boards. They each get a magnetic board, which is also a whiteboard, but They also get little mini whiteboards that you can do activities with them. And you said they came with markers as well.
Yeah, so they also, now this, those boards are one for every 2 children. So not every, yeah, the boards and the tiles. So like the teacher, you'll have your own set of tiles, and then there's one for every 2 children. When you get your tiles, you might have seen it, they come in a binder, and you actually have to punch them all out. So that's some prep work.
So, do you find that you want or need more of the dry erase boards? Do you want it to go one per child? They're available on iPod, so you can just ask your center director if there's an opportunity to purchase some additional ones to support one per child. It would just be a decision of the conversation you want to have with your center director.
Can you explain the binder a little bit more, because I actually like held those items in my hand and I was like, I don't understand.
So the binder is just a way to keep your letters organized.
So,
Keep your letters organized. So there's magnetic pages in that binder.
Oh, there are.
Yeah. So it has like all the letters printed on that page. So after you punch out all the letters, you can stick them on their appropriate magnetic page and store it in the binder. It's for organization.
I love it.
Good question. Because there's a lot of stuff for phonics. Mostly because of the tiles.
And
But wait, there's more. There's a lot of readers. I don't know what the ratio is for.
The readers are one per
one
child.
child. Okay, that's what I was hoping. And every child has an activity book as well as an assessment book. So all the assessments are offline.
Yes.
So.
And they must come in packs of
10. The readers?
1 through 10 in a pack.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Okay.
I know, I didn't open one either, and I was like, oh, they're all ones.
Why does it look like they sent me a million of the same
So each
thing?
aid gets 1 shrink wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that must
readers
be
1
it.
through 10 are in one shrink.
I get it. I don't know, it's something that they need accessible, or they only need one accessible, and then you take that one away
I
and
think
put out
that's
another one.
it.
Right, yeah, they'll only need one for like several lessons, and then you put that away, or put it somewhere where they can read it, later, but you won't need that for another lesson, it won't come back to it. Good question. And you do get a teacher guide, I didn't have an example here, but you get a separate teacher guide for phonics too, offline, hard copy. Great, did you guys have other things you wanted to? Okay, cool.
That's good.
I just wanted to add a couple of things. First thing, the first 8 weeks of phonics are focused on phonological awareness. So they're not writing anything, they're not associating sounds with letters, they're just focused on sounds. So after week 8, that's when you start in with your sight words. Then it moves towards, away from phonological awareness and more towards, the alphabetic principle.
The lesson length, I'm just gonna split it up between the 3. So language skills and literature comprehension is 30 minutes
30 minutes each.
Okay.
Daily.
Yes. And then the handwriting is 10 minutes each. I'm gonna jump down to physical materials real quick. All 3 parts, the skills, the comprehension, and handwriting are all the same materials, if I got that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as similar as the phonics, a couple of additions to it.
So you have your read aloud.
Yeah.
That's provided for the teacher.
You have a lot of read alouds, so she has everything that she's holding, I think
Yeah.
is a read
These
aloud.
are the 4 nonfiction per class.
So read aloud for handwriting?
No, this is
No.
literature and comprehension.
Okay. Not language skills.
Right.
Sorry.
No, that's
Oops,
fine.
we jumped ahead.
Yeah, everything she's holding, well, everything I see is literature and comprehension.
Okay. So should I put those down and come back to them? So
No,
not
it's
so
fine, we can go
confusing?
through, yeah, that's the readers, you can put those down.
Okay,
So
those
this
are the
one, this
non-
rhyme time actually, here, I'll hold the rhyme time, the one in front. This, goes with language skills, because there's a poetry section in language skills. You don't have to remember this because it'll tell you in the lesson,
Mhm.
when you need it. And then there's about 10 read aloud selections, like the Tiggy Tiggy Tempo, Mike Mulligan and his Deep Shovel, Make Like Shucklings, caps for sale,
A lot
those
of
are
these
all
already
read
in our
aloud to
classroom.
literature and comprehension.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then language arts activity book, which is one per child.
And that's what I think what they're talking about. That combines literature and comprehension and language skills are in the same activity book. And in the same teacher guide. They're together in the same book. And then that book, the All About Me, also goes with language skills.
Yes.
One per child.
One
because
per
they
child.
write it in. And there's two other books that go with the poetry section of language skills. A Story, and The Rooster Crows.
Story, read it.
Is that it? Okay. A Rooster Crows.
Is language skills.
And just this. Okay, so there's two books for language skills. But it'll tell you in there, so you don't
And
have to.
actually, one of them, the pages aren't numbered, so there's one of the pages in rhyme time. No, it's a Rooster Crows. I think the pages aren't numbered.
These aren't numbered.
Okay, so those two books, the pages aren't numbered, so it'll tell you turn to page blah blah blah.
Ah, you can't get through.
And so you kind of have to go through and like pre-number. It tells you.
That's
in the
interesting. That's the
beginning
first
lesson,
time I've heard that.
But it tells you that you have to go through and pre-number. It's one of the
Yeah.
first lessons that it tells you to do.
Because we don't publish these. These are.
I think it's in the.
This is Tommy DePaulo. It's not K12.
Oh. That's why he's an artist, not a man.
Yes.
And then there'll be 2 language arts lesson guide books,
Yeah, you have 2 volumes.
one per teacher.
I guess 1 for 2 for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then my accomplishments chart and stickers that goes with.
That goes with all of them.
All of
That's
them?
what I think.
And that's 1 per class. So we're doing 1 per class.
Oh yeah, because there's
And-
skills, comprehension, fonts.
Yeah, and there's stickers, and it's really just to check off as you complete each lesson in each of the areas of language arts. You can, just like a completion chart. That's what you don't have to use it. You can or not.
And then what else was on our
The
assessments? So for language skills, it's only unit assessments.
Is that correct? Okay. And then for language comprehension and handwriting, there are no assessments.
There's no assessments for lit and comp or handwriting. No formal assessments.
And then what's on our other list? Okay, so then the language arts
I'm not gonna-
skills.
You don't have to read through all those because there's a ton
There's
of
a
stuff.
lot.
Yeah.
So I'll simplify it. Literature
Thank
and
you.
comprehension, handwriting, all offline. Just like everything is offline. Because, well, they're handwriting, and then you're reading out loud
Right.
to them.
Although literature comprehension has this is
The
something
MP3s. Yeah, they do have MP3s online. That is true. In Noodleverse. Or in the lessons. You'll see
Yeah.
it pop up in a lesson if you want to play an MP3. Language skills, it's basically all online. Well, it's every lesson. Yeah, every lesson is online pieces, except if you're reading a poem from
And
this
the
book,
workbook page.
or if you're doing an All About Me page.
Can
Mostly
you say,
all online.
Can you say the last part again?
So language skills mostly online, except if you're reading poetry or doing a page from the All About Me booklet.
Or your LS.
Yeah, it says vocabulary offline, all
Or
about
your
me offline, poetry offline, skills update online.
Oh, right, or the activity book. Sorry, there's 2 activities. So, handwriting, comp, all offline. This online and offline. Yes. And then this handwriting materials, there's actually some more right. These are separate.
Oh yes.
And more complex than they need to be. So we use handwriting without tears, but you get like the full teacher guide that talks about, it's like a huge intensive program. We don't use the whole program. We just basically use the workbook. So students are going through the workbook. But as you read through here, and if you see reference to like wooden block pieces or a DVD, we don't use those pieces of handwriting without tears. They're just practicing in this workbook. And this book will take them approximately half a year to get through if they're just working within 10 minutes a day. And the second half of the year is when they would just do some handwriting practice on their lines The only thing you'll find online for handwriting is a game called Letter Train, which is really cute. And it's in every lesson. So if you just go into handwriting and pull up any lesson, you can see the Letter Train game. Show that.
And that's online?
That's online. You also get alphabet desk sheets.
Where have you put those, on folders?
I do it from on folders because you can't stick them on the table.
Right.
They're low. But yeah, I put them across their folders so when they're like doing forgetful or anything like that, they have it.
And you also get a slate, helps with letter formation. For example, have their finger draw it on the board. So this is the handwriting that appears to use like letter formation. So you get a lot of materials for fun and all the language arts pieces. So this is like the materials heavy courses, but obviously kindergarten and 3 years is a fundamental building block. So that's a big focus of your instruction literacy. All right. Any
Yeah, this is
any
really
thoughts or questions?
Started with like the American flag, and it goes into holidays and things like that. I think it looks really interesting. So it looks like it's almost all online, and then there's a small offline lesson at the end, and it's called Show You Know. And it's like the last activity, and it just kind of, it seems like most of the time it's going to use paper, crayons, colored pencils, things like that. And I think it was like, after you learn about the American flag, maybe they'll have you draw the American flag just to show you know.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yep, the only physical, there's no physical materials. There's just one printout on the first lesson of the flag, and that is it. And there's no assessment.
Yeah, so for social studies, what you have from K12 is only our 15 lesson social studies course. And the reason it's only 15 lessons is because it was designed as an add-on to our history curriculum, which is a full 72 lessons, but Knowledge Universe doesn't use our history curriculum. So you only have our 15 social studies lessons. And like they said, the lessons themselves vary in time, and the only way you really know is that green bar that I think you had pointed out earlier. If you hover over the green bar, it'll say like about 46 minutes remaining, or it might say about 25 minutes remaining. It just depends on how many activities are in that lesson. But for purposes of scheduling, I think most people block out regularly, like once or twice a week, 45 minutes or so in their schedule, and either you take up the full time or you don't. No materials, like they said, it lives online, except for like there's usually one offline drawing something activity at the very end of the lesson. So, thank you. because that's so brief and not enough for a whole year, even though there's 15 lessons. There's various things you can do. So let me pull it up. Okay. And so basically what I'm just going to say is of those 15 lessons, it doesn't quite matter the order you teach them in so much. You can teach them in any order you want. So for example, one of the lessons is about rules. So maybe that's something you do at the beginning of the year because it jives with what you're doing in terms of classroom management. One of them is about national holidays. One of those is Thanksgiving, another is the 4th of July. So maybe you time it so that you can teach the Thanksgiving piece around actual Thanksgiving. Pledge of Allegiance is lesson 1, but again, you probably do that in the beginning of the year because that's something that they do for the whole year. So these are modular. You can teach them whenever you like. You can revisit them whenever you like. If you want to, for example, just do the online chunk one day, and then the next day they can do that offline, drawing recap piece. You can split it like that. There are also some other resources that you can use. I don't know who wanted to talk about that, about what's in your setting. Everyone's chewing who might talk right now, so we'll wait a second. It's okay.
So one of the recommendations we have in better detail is utilizing your past year's kindergarten curriculum. So if you have an existing kindergarten program, inviting family members who may participate in certain jobs that are relevant to the community, or just activities in general, as it might be to bring in some additional content.
Another way to make this list go longer is just do a slide a day. You know, you can really elaborate on the content area that's in each slide for it. You don't feel like the flag, the American flag and the Pledge of Allegiance one. You know, I have them make different types of flags. You know, in a terror, red, white, and blue flag. You know, just all different things that you can do to. They did with magazines, so they cut out red pictures. You know, just make different types of flags. Or, you know, we even talked about. I had a couple kids, you know, who were different cultures and things like that, and they really wanted me to focus on, you know, well, in my culture we do this and this is what our flag. So they were really proud of their heritage. So we even, you know, went and talked about. I drew in the cultures with, you know, Pledge of Allegiance and the national symbols and things like that to make it a big unit, and then you incorporate everybody in that area.
And I think you can, particularly now that we've kind of moved away from not celebrating holidays to really celebrating and embracing all inclusive holidays, utilize that as an opportunity to weave that into our national holidays, what are other countries' national holidays, and what are, to Nicole's point, what are the nationalities represented within the classroom, that would then sort of just build out a more robust cultural experience. So as we get through the new year, Chinese New Year, what does that look like? What are all of the traditions that support that? And ask your families to participate in that process. You will be surprised, as you probably already even know though, how excited they get to be able to share those components of their own families in the classroom, whether it be food or traditions. It's a great way to build that out.
Great suggestion. So there's really a lot of space here to, you know, add in your own creativity as well. And anywhere you can do that, but there's extra space in social studies. Preliminary practice planning and delivering a lesson. So the way this will work is we're going to be in groups of 3, so we don't have to move yet. I'll probably just have Jennifer jump to another table of her choice so that we have 3 groups. And each group is going to get 1 lesson assigned to you. So you'll go up and pick it off the board like we did before. And you'll use the blank copy of the lesson plan. So you actually have 4 or 5 blank copies in your binder. You can use a blank copy to complete a plan of your assigned lesson. So that's part 1. And the second part is you'll look at, so within each lesson there's like a involved online activity, and you'll be teaching that online activity, not the whole lesson, just that piece, that online piece, to the rest of the group. So you'll pretend that we're all children. So there'll be like 3 teachers up here, and then everyone else will be the participants. Does that make sense? Here to go first, or volunteers to go first. So I'll just ask if you guys could just close your laptops while the other groups are going. And think about, as you're watching them present, what are some best practices they're using, or what are you finding really effective about their presentation? And then we'll just take a couple minutes at the end to do a little debrief about each presentation. Okay. So we have Michelle, Lauren, and James presenting their overview.
You've already back, Michelle. Do it. Good job going into your students.
See that?
That's all.
Okay. You have to go to the Explorer.
Good job with the lesson navigator too.
Yep. Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon. I'm Miss Lauren, this is Mr. James, and this is Miss Michelle. And we are going to review body parts and colors that we've been learning this week. Ready? Who's ready? All right, let's do this. All right, so we are gonna play a really cool game called Boat Adventure. So Miss Michelle has all your names in her little bucket, and when it's your turn, she's gonna pick your name, and Mr. James, Mr. James is going to help to see if we get right answers. Okay? You ready to play? All right, let's do it. All right.
Welcome to the boat adventure. Click a map to start your adventure.
Today, we are going to visit Dinosaur Island.
Do you want to use this map?
Dinosaur Island has 5 places we need to stop. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ready? All right, we're going to go to number 1. Let's see.
Yes. You are beginning your journey to Dinosaur Island.
There's our boat.
At each stop, choose the answer to each question. The more answers you get right, the more items you will get for your boat. Good luck.
All right.
Which cup is red?
First question. Let's listen one more time.
Which cup is red?
Which cup is red? Miss Michelle, can you pick a friend for us?
Dale.
Dale. Do you know which cup is red?
The middle one.
The middle one. Let's pick the middle one. Who agrees with Dale? If you agree with Dale, put your hand on your head. Ooh, I think everybody has their hand on their head. Mr. James, can you check it for us? Yay! All right.
Which backpack is black?
The first one.
Wait. It's not your turn anymore. She got super excited. She's like, this game is awesome. We're going to pick a new friend.
Francis.
Francis, it's your turn. Let's listen one more time.
Which backpack is black?
Which backpack is black?
The first one.
This one is the one you think?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. And Mr. James, can you check to see? She got it right! Good job! All right, let's keep going. Let's listen up. Can you pick one more name for us?
Rebecca.
Rebecca, it's your turn. Are you excited? All right, let's see. I think Rebecca can do it.
Which butterfly is orange?
Which butterfly is orange? Do you want to come point to it? Give it a try. All right. Who here agrees with Miss Rebecca? Let's put our hand on our belly this time if you agree with Miss Rebecca. Everybody has their hand on their belly. Miss Rebecca, let's check it out. See if you're right. All right. Good job, Miss Rebecca.
Which bird is white?
Let's pick a name. One more.
Karen.
All right, Karen, it's your turn. Let's listen.
Which bird is white?
Which bird is white? Do you want to have a turn? Come up and touch it. All right. This time, if you think that Karen's right, if she picked the white bird, put your finger on your nose. Once again, everybody agrees? We have a smart group of friends. Yay! Good job.
Which flower is blue?
Which flower is blue? Let's pick a new friend.
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
The last one.
The last one? You think this one?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and touch it. Who agrees? Put your hands up in the air if you agree that she picked the right one. Give them a wiggle. Get all your wiggles out. Let's check. Good job, guys. We're really good at this.
Choose an item for your boat.
Because we are so smart, we get to choose an item for our boat. So there's an ice boat, there's a castle boat, a turtle shell boat, a flag boat, and a pirate. We get to pick so many cool things for our boat because we're so smart that we're just going to pick one of our friends to help us out this time. And maybe you can get a chance next time. Who's going to pick?
Jennifer.
Jennifer! She says turtle shell. Let's do it. All right, we have ourselves a turtle shell.
So is it okay with you guys if I stop you here because each island's like
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very long.
Okay.
We were like, I wonder if we have to play the whole game.
So there's 5 islands total over the same time.
Click the yellow star.
And at each island, you get to add something to your boat, you know, like a flag or a penguin.
We were gonna do things with body parts, like show you body parts.
Oh, yeah. So this is color questions, and then there's body part questions. So that would have been cool
Yeah.
too. When it's like point to your arm, then you can
Yeah.
point to your arm. So that would have been fun. But this is long.
Yeah.
But the boat adventure is the unit review for every unit in my new skills. So you'll be seeing this a lot. That's why I wanted to make sure to include it. So this is a good one. So let's give them a round of applause.
Routine.
And what did you guys think? What did you like about their presentation?
I said that they had a great intro, and they had a good answer to it. The thing that I really liked about this, and I went across for with all the game, is that they didn't go into the game before they explained it. If they would have gone into it, then the kids would have been all excited because you have all the different, you know, the dinosaur, you have the one?
Yeah.
There's 3 of them, the dinosaur, the moon, and the underdog. So then you lost them because they're all excited about picking what game that they do. The other thing that I really like is that they repeated each question. To make sure that they hit it, and that they used the order to check if they answered. The one thing that we didn't get a chance to see that I wanted to go over is if you get it wrong, if you get a question wrong, at the very end of that island, what it's going to do is you're still going to get to pick your item, but it's going to give you the option. You can either go back and repeat the question that was wrong, or you can just continue on where you're at. If you choose to continue on where you're at, you lose one of those items to pick. So instead of having 5, you're going to have 4. If you get 2 questions wrong, you only have 3. So then it kind of makes them, they really want that last item to pick for, so it's to make them want to go back and repeat that. So as soon as you fix that question, it goes back to the end again. So it's great for self-checking.
That's a great point.
Yeah, we didn't even get one wrong.
Yeah.
We didn't even see
Well,
what happened.
Yeah, so it would have basically had an X across one of those options. So we couldn't maybe.
Yeah, it's just like a highlight.
So, yeah. Anyone else want to share any comments? I liked how you did as a take on up, thumbs up, thumbs down, like put your hand on your head or your belly. I thought that was really fun. So I personally like that. So great job. Thank you very much. Which group would like to go next? Okay. Name that sound group.
What I was like.
Come up.
So do you want to come up? So how that went?
Stand right here. We can go in this. We can go this one, right?
I think
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And what just happened? Oh, we're in the jar.
You can actually click on overview.
Overview.
Yeah, see that
On the
green
left.
tab all the way on the left?
Oh.
And then you can switch to.
Ah. So science K, right?
Census and
No,
trees.
yeah. Gotta go down one.
Oh, census
Yeah.
and trees.
Get my money. We got an airport yesterday.
And and hopefully we would have it at least up to the screen before we had the kids all waiting.
2.
Too.
Somebody's.
I think the kids like this stuff, don't they? I know.
You have this thing. It's yours.
I mean, where was the game? Was it
One more. One more.
Okay. So right before this, we just made shakers. We're talking about our senses, so we just all made some shakers and we had to try to see what was inside them. So that's a little pre-base.
So everybody shake your shakers. All right, good. Now put them behind your back. Awesome. Now they're out of our way and we are focused on our game. Close your eyes. What sound do you hear? What do you hear right now? Anybody want to raise your hand and tell me what sound you hear? What sound do you hear? Servers. That's a funny thing for a kindergartner to say. Yes, I hear servers. Anybody else? One more friend? James, what do you hear?
Your voice.
My voice. Is it a peaceful sound or is it an unpleasant sound? Oh, good. Okay. Well, we use Good. Anybody want to jump
I know
in?
it's weird having 4 teachers.
Yeah, it is really
but
hard
just
to
be
be
one.
What do you use to hear?
Raise a quiet hand.
What body part
What
do
body
you
part
use?
do you use to hear?
Your ears.
Your ears, that's right. Everybody turn on your listening ears because we're going to play a game called Name That Sound.
Turn them up. Boop, 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 boop.
Alright, so we're going to divide our classroom into
Two teams.
Two teams.
So when I call your name, you're gonna come up and have a seat on this side of the carpet. We're gonna do 2 teams, one on this
the
side
wall team.
and one on that side.
The table
Okay?
team.
Sorry, that's me and you.
Oh, she's not here today.
Oh my gosh, why am I picking James? Come on up.
Hey,
You're gonna have a seat
James.
right up here for us, please.
Remember to stay behind the tape, guys.
I moved it, sorry.
Rebecca, you're gonna come up and have a seat on this side. So you're gonna start us on our other team for us, please.
Make sure you find
Alicia,
your
you're gonna come and join James.
might be
Lauren, you are going to come up and join Rebecca.
Go team.
Francis, come on up. You are going to join
good. I'm
this
not the
team
only thing
over
that
here.
cracked.
And last but not least, we have Michelle. Come on up and join us over here, please.
Good job, guys.
And we were all talking, and because we just did really, really well during our last lesson, and everybody paid attention and followed the rules, we have time to do 10 different sounds before we do lunch. I mean, we only have 5. But good job.
Sorry, guys. Buzzkill over there.
We can play more.
You guys ready to play?
Alright, we're going to use our ears to listen to
I gotta put in how many teams we have. And how many teams do we have?
2.
2. How do you think we would start the word 2? What letter does 2 start with?
T.
T. T. We have 2 options. We're gonna go through the whole thing.
Welcome to Name That Sound. There are 2 teams. You'll take turns listening to a sound and trying to guess what makes that sound. If everybody's ready, let's get started.
You guys understand
Here's
the
how the
directions?
game works. First, press the play sound button to hear the sound. Then decide what makes that sound. You'll get a second chance if you need to hear the sound again. When you're ready, press the play button to hear the sound.
But because we have 2 teams, I have these bells. I don't know, you could use whatever you had in your room, but I'm gonna put bells in front of you guys, and it's very, very, very important that we do not shout out the answer, because the other team might get your points. So it's first person who rings the bell, that team is gonna get a guess, and then they'll get to come up and reveal and see if they're right, but it's very important that we don't shout the answers out. That's right. All right, you guys ready? Double check your ears, make sure they're all on. Okay? Here's the sound.
Here we go.
If you know, slap the bell in front of you.
Alright, red
Okay,
team.
Team 1, name that sound.
A bell?
Would you like to go reveal it and find out?
Go see if you
I don't know how specific
I don't either.
Shazam!
I was gonna
A
say.
pound bell.
Great
Great job. Actually, while you're up here, do you want to give yourself some points?
Are you ready?
Press the up arrow.
Go. What shape is that up arrow?
It is a triangle.
We saw that this morning.
You guys are listening.
Great listening ears.
Are we ready for the next one? So remember, if you think you know it, slap the bell in front of you.
Next
Hit next time.
Let's move on to the next
Just
sound.
went through this.
And it actually alternates, so like that was team 1's turn, and now it's
I'm
team
just
2.
seeing that now.
Split up.
We couldn't hear that, so
Yeah, but
Right.
can't we have to input our own points.
You do have to input your own points, but like.
So it will only
if
let us
team-
input yellow?
If
they
team 1
didn't.
shouted out the answer to team 2's question, you could not put in points.
Oh.
So now we currently put in points.
oh, so we're
So now-
gonna rewind.
That's okay.
Learn the game better and.
Team 2's turn now.
All right.
Okay,
So we're
so
so team 2.
So if they don't get the correct answer, we cannot reward you your points, right? Does that work? Okay.
So you
Okay.
guys have to be really quiet. You don't want to give them the answer. Are you ready, team 2?
We're ready. All right, ladies. What does that sound like?
I took your bells
Okay,
away,
team
so you
2.
guys can discuss.
Name
You
that
can
sound.
discuss with your
A
team.
xylophone? A harp?
Harp.
Are you ready to
It's
reveal?
like a kid's game. It's not a harp.
Oh, there are some hard ones on here. here,
were?
just to let you know.
Can we hear it again?
Yep, you get 2 chances.
One more time. I don't blame you.
Good.
Thanks the harp.
A harp or a piano.
A xylophone would be more of like.
piano.
That's not piano.
I don't know.
Rebecca, would you like to go and reveal?
Oh Jesus.
It's a xylophone. You pick. You pick.
It's a harp.
A harp?
She says it's a harp.
I hear harp.
Can we steal?
Can we steal?
Hey, Chris.
Good job, Rebecca.
Give us some points.
How many times can I push it?
That's right.
She was like,
Are you ready, red team?
All right, team 1. This is for red team. Yeah,
I played the other two.
Okay, I haven't played that.
Ready?
5-year-old has ever played harp before.
Yellow team.
You don't want to have to take the points away.
I'm sorry.
That's a dog.
Alright, who would like to reveal it, James?
Okay, James.
Okay, Team 1. Name that sound.
He is.
Just gotta click it.
Here's what you heard.
How many of you have a dog at your house? Do you have a dog?
job,
Oh,
take
you
your
have a
points.
Does your dog bark often?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear dogs a lot here.
Are we running out of time? We'll pretend the
Don't
game.
hate me, but I'm gonna
Nope,
pretend it is.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Game over.
We might just recap some of the sounds if time was permitting, and which sounds are annoying, which sounds are fun, and blah blah blah.
What sounds you hear outside, inside?
Yep.
Thank you very much. So, as you guys are returning to your seats, think about what you liked about their presentation. I like what you said just at the very end. You want to recap the sound and talk about what are pleasant sounds, what are maybe annoying sounds, where might you hear the sound. Also, how one of you asked who has a dog, to protect it prior to dominance. Anything else? Any other thoughts about their lesson?
I liked that we sat up close to it.
That you all sat on the front of
Yeah,
it?
so we were all going up.
I like that it was a team-based activity, and it wasn't like a win or lose necessarily. Like you could tweak it to make it so it wasn't a win or lose situation, and it gives them like a team activity to do, where they can learn to be part of like a group, as opposed to just like, okay, you get to go up. All right, it's your turn. Give us
But if the team just say they were bummer losers and they didn't get as many points, well, you know what? If we can get through all of our stuff today, maybe we can
Play
rematch
again.
in the afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, you can come back to this game as many times as you want, just have to be just on this one.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, that's awesome. So now we have a recycling game.
Do you want to get the popsicle sticks ready? Sure.
And while they're bringing this up, even the other pieces, like where you guys were connecting to other subject areas, like how many teams do we have? What letters do you start with? Like what teams do? So I like that connecting to other pieces. Right.
She said, do you think that each class should
I thought we were just gonna start with that.
Yeah, just going. Yeah.
We can just talk about real quick what we just learned.
Should just be the next screen.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you guys are ready.
Just gonna start yelling at us. Do you want to start?
Okay. Good afternoon, boys and girls. So we just learned about resources and recycling. So now we're going to play a game about sorting different objects into their correct recycling bin.
So I'm gonna bring it now or wait until?
Yeah, so we can all just come sit on the rug so we're closer.
Is this science or social studies?
This is social
Social
studies.
studies. Okay.
Oh, you have to
Dig my spot. That's my dirty mouth.
I can take my copy.
Huh?
Alright. Do you want to explain the game before I turn it on?
Okay, we're gonna play a game about how to sort things for recycling. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to start with, we're gonna do some practice.
Start. The garbage collector is coming today. and all the garbage needs to be sorted into the correct bins. Click each piece of garbage, and then click the bin it belongs in to put it there. Let's practice. Put the newspaper into the green paper recycling bin.
If you
What is paper, or what is paper? What is newspaper made out of?
Paper.
Paper. So it would go in the
Paper.
paper bin.
Newspaper.
Could you think of one more time?
Put the milk jug into the blue plastic recycling bin.
Why would we put the milk jug in the plastic bin?
It's made of plastic.
Very good.
job.
Milk jug,
It talks too much.
plastic.
It really does.
Put the can into the red metal recycling bin.
So, if I put the can, does it go into this one?
No.
Why not?
Because it's made of metal. It's made of metal, so we want to put it in
The red one.
the red one.
Tin can, metal. Some items might be reusable, such as the stuffed animal. Put reusable items back into the house.
Why is that stuff
Why are
animal
we throwing that
reusable?
away?
We need to fix them.
Send it to Goodwill.
Okay, we could fix them. What else could we do with something that's reusable?
Give it to a neighbor.
We could give it to somebody else. That would be a nice thing to do, wouldn't it?
So we're gonna take him
Stuffed animal,
and put him.
the stuffed animal could be given to a friend or family member. Put any garbage that cannot be recycled or reused, such as the slice of pizza, into the black trash bin.
Pizza can
Now,
always
why
be
do you
good.
think?
I was gonna say, we all went to college. Little do you know.
Why do you think we can't reuse or recycle that pizza?
It'll go bad.
It would go bad.
You can't turn it into something new.
It's old.
Can't turn something. It's got germs. Very good answers. That's good thinking.
Pizza, trash.
Okay.
Good job.
Alright. This is round 1. Now for round 2, before we get started, we're gonna review it really quick, and I'm gonna have each one of you come up and draw a line to match it to the board. And then we'll put it in there to make sure that we're right.
Continue. Newspaper,
You can close that, actually. So you see at the bottom of that bar on the left, right above the window symbol.
Okay.
Yeah, just hit close and exit without saving.
Okay.
newspaper,
Alright, yeah.
Alright, so our first friend, what's that?
We're going for a yogurt cup.
Alright, so Michelle, come show us where the yogurt cup would go. And all of you can be thinking about where she should go.
You can get rid of that line.
yogurt cup,
Try it.
plastic.
Ta-da! Let's
Nice.
make it.
Good answer.
Alright. Who else wants to turn?
James.
This is plastic wrap.
Where would that go? What do we think?
Okay. We all agree on that one?
Good.
Yep.
So you can, you can try and put it in there if you want to, James. You can drag it in.
Fold.
Foil,
Uh-oh. That's tricky.
That's tricky.
Your teacher played you out.
Good job.
Okay.
That was the tricky one because it was kind of hard to tell what it was.
So we should probably click on it and have
If you
it.
click on it, will it tell you what it is if you click on
Yeah,
it?
so you wanna click on
Alright,
it.
so the next one is
egg carton,
So an egg carton. So
carton.
Caitlin can come. You can just have them drag it.
Yeah.
I think we get the hang of it, right?
Metal, put it in the metal.
Let's see. Yes, it's egg carton. I
Egg
think
carton.
it's metal.
metal.
Tap.
Rejected.
The egg carton doesn't have to be thrown out.
Oh.
Egg, paper,
Whatever.
I don't know what it was made out of. It was clearly organic eggs they come in.
Mine come in metal.
Mine come like a styrofoam.
Mine's done. All right. So what was the egg carton made out of, Kaden?
Paper.
Paper. Very good.
Very nice. What's that next one?
Oil.
Paper towel.
So Dale, show us where our paper towel goes.
Can you recycle a paper towel? I feel like negative.
That's a good question. Can you recycle?
We're gonna find
I'm a
out.
little confused in my hotel room. The recycling. I blow my nose. I really want to put it in the trash, but I feel like I should recycle it.
So where did it go?
It just went
In trash.
Why do you think the paper towel went in trash and not into paper?
It was
Because
dirty.
it had stuff on it.
Had stuff on it, maybe some germs or something that we couldn't reuse very well.
I'm actually gonna stop you guys, if that's okay. So just so there's a couple of different rounds of this game, and as you keep going, they'll give you like reusable things that you can trash to the table, and it's actually cool. Like the yogurt cup, you could recycle the plastic, and then maybe another round you put it on the table, and it'll say yes, you can reuse this for like an art project. So there's actually like for some things, there's different places you can work on. And you'll see as you play around with it, you know, it's pretty neat. And you can earn prizes like you recycled enough to make a metal car, or you know. I encourage you to play it.
That's what we're gonna be doing.